The costs have gone up. The profits have gone to the HMOs, the PPOs, the hospital management companies, to the drug companies, and on and on. It's undermined the doctor and patient relationship.
Went to medical school, became an Air Force medical surgeon, and then ended up in Texas.
Yes, I went to Duke Medical School, and then I started my residency at the Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit. It was there when I received a draft notice.
I'd like to talk a little bit about the medical care crisis that we're facing. Sometimes I'd like to think that it might be a government crisis rather than a medical care crisis.
But we have a mixture of government involvement with the bureaucracy. At the same time, we've created a corporate-run medical system, which means that the laws in the early 70s, 35 years ago, the laws were changed to encourage tax benefits to corporations, and then mandates on these corporations on providing medical service in such a precise manner. And this has done one thing. The most important thing it did was push the prices higher.
When third parties pay the bills, doctors, labs, and hospital, everybody else, all of a sudden they charge the most, not the least.
When the prescription drug program came along, another big entitlement increase by those conservative Republicans, the lobbyists for the drug companies, they came and spent millions, tens of millions of dollars lobbying for that bill. So I reject that system. And I don't support socialized medicine.
What we ought to fight for is the fact that we have a choice. We shouldn't be forced into a program. If the government starts a program, we ought to have the right to opt out of the program. We should be very generous with tax credits. Give tax credits for the entire amount of money you spend on medical care so that you can be independent. The concept of medical savings accounts is a good concept, and we should promote that and encourage that. And we should demand privacy.
Basically, I don't believe there's a proper understanding of what rights are, because this whole argument, Republicans and Democrats assume people have a right to stuff. They have a right to care, and they have a right to a house and a right to a job. And as a constitutionalist and a believer in individual liberty, I don't approach it that way. You have a right to your life and your liberty. You have a right to work hard and keep what you earn. But once you say you have a right to something, and government's going to give it to you, they never ask the next question, where does the government give it? They have to violate somebody else's right.
We don't have to just turn the key off. Matter of fact, I think what we need is a transitional period where people can make these choices. At the same time, I would tide people over by literally saving a lot of money from this overseas expenditures, enough to even cut the deficit, at the same time not put people out on the streets. But today, because of our foreign policy, here again, foreign policy connected to domestic policy, because we're coming up short with funds because of all this money we're spending overseas, they're starting to cut back on some of the medical benefits. And where are we going to save here? And